Howdy, folks. We have returned with more Conquest of Elysium 5. Once again, no webcam. Probably won't see a webcam around for a little bit. At least to the end of the series, maybe the next one. Which, I'm excited for the next one. I'm debating between either doing the Priest King or doing a full mod run-through of a faction I think is pretty fun. It is a Dominions conversion mod, but that'll be for another time. We'll talk more about that if we get to it. I definitely want to play it on the channel. I think it's a cool little overhaul mod for, not an overhaul, a faction mod that adds a faction in the game. There's one particular mechanic I find really interesting about it as compared to other stuff. It plays a little interestingly, but we'll talk about that much later. We have a couple renames. If I have renamed any of these guys names that were similar before, I tried to not rename anybody with names that were already there. We do know Scipio is on his way out unless we can get a regen item on him, unfortunately, but that is the reality of that situation. I actually, last time we created a statue, we're going to do it again. I had forgotten to save after I did that. But here we go. We're going to start off with this. This is the first ability, really, of the Dark Emperor. He has 3 abilities. Apotheosis gives him the ability to become a god. And unlike the regular senator, when you become a god as the Dark Emperor, you change into something much different. You also have the ability to appoint governors. We'll talk about what they do. They're pretty important, the appoint governors, I'd say, to the faction. It's interesting. A lot of your good stuff defensively is locked behind getting the Emperor. And of course, that costs quite a bit. But it does increase your defensive capabilities quite a bit. I would say it doesn't really increase your offensive capabilities unless we're talking about Apotheosis or the Water Ladies. Do we have one of them? I don't see one on the map right now. In the future, we'll show off. Here she is. This lady, she can end up doing something, I believe, if that is still in the game. Although I don't know if the Dark Emperor can do it. Supposedly, I can't remember how we do it. In 4, at least, there was a way to marry the Renata, or whatever her name is, to the Emperor. I'll have to check that out and try and figure out how to do it. It's been a minute since I've played the Senator. But that's what it is. I did rename a couple to things I thought were cool. Or just one. I renamed this guy to Legut. Sorry. I thought that was kind of a funny spin on Leggett. But that was just my own spin on things. We'll see how that name goes over with you all in the audience. We also renamed this guy to Sheev. If you don't know, I think this is a reference to Star Wars with Emperor Palpatine. I'm pretty sure it is at this point. I think that's his first name. I could be wrong about that, but I read... what is that book? I haven't read a lot of the Star Wars novels that they have out there, but I read Plagius. I read the book about Plagius that they have out there, just the one dedicated to him, which, interestingly enough, even though it's called Plagius, has a lot of Palpatine in it. But that's our first move of the turn. Now, where to move Legut? I'm going to call him Legut all the time, so get ready for that. I think down here would be an interesting move. We don't really have a strong army here. This is a pretty big force. I'm a little worried about them coming to our Crystal Tower. That'd be very unfortunate. We'd have to go deal with that. We also have some scouting small patrols here and there. Still got Germanicus kicking around. Germanicus might be the longest lived next to Callahan and Biggest Dickus. I don't know who came in first and second, but unfortunately Scipio will not be one of those people. Let's talk about the statue. So the Statue of the Underworld, it cost 100 gold, and that is pretty pricey. You know, that's maybe 2 units of Principes if you have the production for it, or, you know, likely going to be 2 units of Histatus. I doubt you're going to have, like, the rounding error to get, like, 3 if you're kind of roughly on 100 gold or so, but it's about that price. And what it gives you is this Statue of the Underworld. It gives you a different statue in the non-Dark Emperor version of this guy. It gives you a nice statue of the Emperor. Instead, this is a statue of the Emperor, but it's actually a statue of the Underworld. So Illwinter probably needs to fix the name, but it's the statue of the Underworld. So that is its name. It's got 200 hit points, 8 magic resistance, 3 armor. It ranks towards the back. It's got 99 morale, of course, because it's mindless, obviously, and lifeless here. Good tags. Very good tags to have. Protects it from quite a bit. It's got poison resistance, sleep immunity, charm immunity. It never heals, pierce resistance, slash resistance, amphibious. You know, this doesn't really help it too much because it can't go underwater or anything like that generally. Unless you can find a settlement that's underwater. And you need to have an amphibious governor or emperor. It's stationary, so it can't move, and it casts spells. It doesn't have any melee attacks, so this is all it's going to be doing. Is casting spells, which is dark magic too. And if you've been a fan of the channel, or you've just watched some of my other videos, whatever your status here is, you'll know this is one of my favorite magic paths in the game. It has Shade Assassins. This is Shade Warriors. This is not the best, but Shade Assassins are rear-spawning shades that can end up killing mages pretty easily, which is a really cool thing to have. Now, this one has Terror, Tendrils of Darkness. Really, what these are for are just defensive, and, you know, in this situation, they're really great, because we're up against the Witch. Well, what is the Witch actually really bad against? Well, she's bad against poison-resistant and charm-resistant units, and that's exactly what this is. So this will put a lock on some of our territory from the Witch actually coming in and taking it. Now, she dies and became a Bog Witch, or whatever it's called. The necromancy spells that she gets with that could decay this thing and things like that, potentially. She couldn't drain its life, thankfully, but it can be decayed. Yeah, it's a pretty good magic path. There's some lore here about it. But the other one has storm magic. This is much better. Much, much better. It also has another hidden thing to it that we'll talk about in a moment when it happens. But I'm going to wait till that happens. Doing some scrying. We see some of the Priest King. Some weak little stuff over here. Nothing too crazy. We have Sextus down here with this Moon Mage. We want to get some units here. Want to be a little careful not to get them knocked out of the game. We could take Legut and move him down here, and I think we will do that and send him up with the Moon Mage. Get a little more middle-ranking units here. Maybe some of our throwers. Or better yet, we'll probably get some Histatus just to make these front lines stronger, and then let these guys shift towards the back as we recruit them. That will likely be our move. And then we'll have to get more units up here as time goes on as well. But those are our general plans. I think we forgot to move one of our solo guys up north. We'll be sure to do that. Stoneborn Amulet, not too useful. A Catapult, now. Ooh, God, we're short. Oh, God, I wish we could afford this. Because a Catapult has 16 range. It could kill these guys. Oh, that's really unfortunate that we don't have enough money. That's a bad luck of the draw. And the statue wasn't even necessary, really, at this moment. Okay, well, that's what it is. We're going to want to get governors. You want to get a lot of governors, in my opinion, because you want to be sending them around to do things with your armies. Okay, this guy's actually stuck. I think they're a pretty crucial element of your force. Why is Germanicus stuck here? I guess the AP of the swamp plus the snow. Yeah, I suppose that's it. Probably shouldn't have moved him in there if we were being smart. Yeah, let's get some Histatus in here. That'll be our recruitment for this turn. We'll do a little more scrying. Continue to get a bigger picture of what's going on over here. We see another witch. I don't know if we've seen this color of witch before. I know there's a witch that was hanging around here. Probably have, but can't recall. Yeah, there are 4. These feel like witches' names. I'm trying to remember. It's been a minute, once again. It's been a day since I last played, and I'm trying to remember which colors are which. Serpent Acolyte. That's not very pressing. Now their level 2 versions are very good. I don't think we have a magic library at all, do we? We don't. So we're going to need... We could use access to that pretty badly to upgrade some of our mages and to get them some spells that we might want in particular. I'm a little worried about this guy coming to kill our serpent priest down here, and they are very capable of doing it. We might kill them with poison if we get lucky, except for these bone devils. There's only 7 of them, but these guys have a lot of HP, so the AI tends to work off of that a little bit, so I think they very well might attack. What is it? It is late winter, so we don't want to try and cross here. There is a ford, so we'll just have to go through the ford. And we're going to jump down here and try and get some things done with our little wildling squad of units. We have a lot of iron. We're not trading for iron. Good, good. It's because of all this production we're getting. We might want to sell some. I think we'll start selling a little bit just because we're a little short on gold. As the snow season, I really want to start amping our production of things, and one of the ways we're going to do that is to get a lot of gold. So I did not mean to move him that direction. Has the thing happened yet? The thing has not happened yet. But we'll move our Dark Emperor north. He'll put a statue in Old Haven. And we'll leave that at that for the moment with him. Down here, we will continue to get some Histatus, maybe? I don't think we need any Principi Solaris. I'm not such a big fan of these guys. They're a little expensive, coming in at 10 production and 55 gold. And the benefit they provide is useful situationally. You know, if you're going against a Fire Warlock or any equivalent thing like a Demonologist, you could see some real benefits off of having that 50 fire resistance. But besides that, they just get a little bit of a better attack and a little, I think, more HP than the Histatus. So I'm not super enthused with them. You know, one notable thing is they'll be more defended against some of your fire spells, but we've lost our fire guy. You know, Principes do, I think, just about as good a job as them. I think, honestly, they should have a little more magic resistance would be my preference to actually spend the extra 5 gold. Now, the Triarius and stuff will get off the ground eventually here. I think I want to send that in a big army. Not with our Dark Emperor, maybe, but maybe some other stronger force that we build ballistas and things up with. Just giving you some of my thoughts on the matters at hand. We will grab these Principes. We'll grab this Histatus. I don't want to be slow at this army just yet. Don't think I'm down for that. Shiv will take over Legut's army. Legut can go down here. We don't need 2 commanders here. And Shiv will move out. He has a bunch of spells. I almost want more archers, but we can grab some, I'm sure, after we take this temple city, which shouldn't be too hard with our moonlight spells and our fear. Touch of the Moon will just give a little bit of extra magic resistance in case they put one of those blood ladies there. Don't need to watch that. We have a Gorgon coming once again. A worm is attacking our Hamadryad. What's happening here? It'd be nice if we can get the magic items. This might be a summon from the witch. I believe she gets to summon these. That it broke free. Oh, she might be dead then. Or it's just decided it wanted to leave its home. We'll speed this up. We'll see how this goes. I'm not too enthused about it, because this thing will get acided. If we can get a lucky confusion, that would be nice. It is confused. It needs to turn to our side, though. Nope, it'll eat our Hamadryad. That's really sad. Where was that? Where the heck was that? Oh, it was up here. Makes me think the witch died with this. I feel like these are magic items we had, and then the witch took from us, and I feel like she died on this thing. That's my feeling. I know there was an ancient presence. Was that here too? Trying to recall where that ancient presence was. I almost guarantee. I'm pretty sure a witch did that and died trying to summon things. Which is always funny, but not necessarily great for us. Because we just lost one of our favorite little ancient forest spawn points one that was actually defended, so that's disappointing. We have a lot more money now that we're trading our iron away. And we're almost here, and we'll get a governor next turn. Sheev can move this direction. I want to make sure to get this Eerie farm and make sure nothing spawns out of it. Let's do a little more scrying. Keep going this way. We see a little old fort here, old castle. Little coastal hamlet. Turnus can move. Running into a squad of the witches. What is slow in here? Where's my commanding unit thing? One of these is my hotkey buttons. I can't remember whichever. The heck is slowing us down? Okay, nothing there. Maybe we just had a little less movement left for some reason. I think that is the explanation I'm going to go with. Let's see if we drop like you. He has a movement, so you're the slow one. So he just had a little less movement, I believe. Or the whole troop does. But that brings into question what is slow here. Nothing should be slow. We'll see next turn. Make sure we're not rolling out a slow army that we didn't want to do. We'll build a scout up here. I want to get this army rolling with a scout. We could use one in here too, but we don't want to turn them around just yet. I guess we could have ferried a scout this turn over there. Could have been something we'll do. Hopefully we'll get another opportunity to mess around with the scouts. I think we'll just do some recruitment then, and we'll get some cheap little velays. Start building up a backline force for this guy. Of course, this force still kind of not being the strongest. We'll need to get some more Histatus and things once we take that ancient temple. We are going to lose our small scout we sent into his fateless journey. A Leo and archers. Yummy, yummy. Don't want to buy the swordsman. We will buy the Leo and the archers, and we'll start sending them out. Okay, yeah, it was just he had less movement. I knew there wasn't anything slow in there. Knew it. I was very confused. That's why I searched for so long. Sometimes you miss a piece of movement, and you're like, why am I slow? Stop it. Okay, we'll move up here. We have a little less gold than we need to do our thing, but we'll hold on for a moment. Is this lady still running around up here? No, okay, those are some ghouls. I don't know where she went, but it looks like she's turned, perhaps. I don't want to overspend again, so unfortunately we're going to end our turn. And we are going to get a governor, because they are going to start doing some stuff for us, and then we'll build the statue up here afterwards. Just get these places defended. More to just start something occurring. So we will appoint a governor. This is action economy-wise right now, and then erect a statue. That'll be most of our money. So we can't buy these swordsmen. I'm not too enthused with them, so it's okay. And for our first action, you get to see what the governors here will do. Which they are not called governors. They are called magistratus. And they magistrate for us, essentially. They enforce the Pax Imperia throughout Elysium. Oversee construction of statues, so they can do the statue thing as well. They do have both of these options. From everything I've understood, they cannot hit this button with the Imperial statue while we're the Dark Emperor. I've only been able to hit the button with the Dark Statue of the Underworld. But we have a new ability, and that is Raise the Limbs. And the limbs are a little small squad of dudes who are just like 6 HP, javelin, short sword guys, and then also a little group of slingers. And they will help defend your town. And in particular, one reason they're really good is because they synergize just super well with your statues. Now, you can't move them, you can't throw them into your armies, but they will do a nice little tiny defense for you. They'll help you out a little bit with that, so that's very nice of them. Have some more old castles. This one with a Shade Mage. Spooky. Glad the capital spawned here and not, like, over here. Oh, dear God. Okay, we're going the opposite direction of this army. 1, 2... It looks like he's going to be able to reach us no matter what. Hopefully we've gotten out of his ire. Because we may lose our Moon Mage very quickly here. He's got quite a bit in this army. We're going to need quite a bit to take him on, so... We're going to need to start recruiting, which might mean stopping statue production for a little bit, even though we'd love to see him. And, you know, we probably don't need another statue otherwise than up here. I'm just worried about the witch swooping down and taking our stuff while we're not fully engaged. Can't really take on this Gorgon. This squad's getting a little out of our actual range of influence, or sphere, I should say, of influence. And we can start raiding with Germanicus in the back line here, is my opinion on what should be done. He's not able to reach us. It looks like they just steamrolled some of our stuff. Unfortunately, this Gorgon's going to come attack our friend here. Probably going to kill everybody. See, this little Gorgon, this lady, can fly right over the gate. Although she's attacking it. Can't imagine she's going to have too much trouble here because she's petrifying things. Turn these guys to stone, increase their armor, and an unlucky arrow will knock out our Serpent Priest, so this place is essentially useless to us now. That's real unfortunate, but sometimes you lose. And, you know, they lost some stuff, nowhere near what we lost. God, this swamp is just so toxic. Oh, my lord. Brigand boots are available in archers. I think what we're going to do is swoop ourselves this way. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And we're going to go take his thing right here, the Dark Citadel, if it doesn't have too many troops in it. Try and nab that from him. Just nab some recruitment points in his backline so we can start coming up from behind. That's kind of our plan here. I haven't seen the thing happen yet. That should happen soon. Hopefully we start to see it. I suppose the Emperor can turn around. Don't have much more for him to do up here. He'll move to Norville, and we'll sit the Emperor here for a while. I think we'll rule from Norville for a long time, because it appears to be like right in the center. It feels like the safest part of our empire right now. And he will spawn governors when we need them to send them out, although there's not too many settlements in this age. So we have to keep that in mind when we're raising our small forces here. And you can only raise them on fortified locations. You can't raise them on these small little hamlets and things. You can, however, build a statue on hamlets or larger. So I could build statues everywhere, but not super worth it to do that necessarily. Depends how under siege you are, I suppose. But up here, we will begin to start building some heavy troops, I suppose. We'll build some Triariuses. Get those going with our solar friend here, get some archers, and get these ballista together, and get ready to take on this army in full. As the Priest King tries to gain some ground on us, I'm a little worried about that. Although if we can get inside a fort with minimal casualties, we probably will be okay. So that's kind of the plan here, and this will be minimal casualties. We're going to have a lot of spells go off. These guys aren't particularly great at defending, considering only a couple of them have javelins here. And those are one and done. They're not like archers, so... Not too worried about that at all. Our Animist here and Germanicus are still going south. We can raise our little forces here. So you can do this on all your fortified locations, which is very interesting. It adds just a little bit of free troops. You want to go around and do it. There's no real reason not to, besides, you know, priorities with these guys, and right now we don't have too much for them to do. Do we want to get crossbowmen? We're not really fighting any heavies. I'm going to go with the archers and some more Triariuses. That's what we're going to do. And this is looking pretty solid so far. We're going to want to start getting Histatus for the front, or Principes perhaps. We'll see what we feel when we get to it. But we're still kind of short on gold. They are flanking behind us. Let me just make sure I feel real solid about this before I go and commit to taking this fortress. Some more archers, pikeneers. Ooh, those would have been good earlier. Okay, do I feel solid? I want to see his army again. Well, thankfully we can. Just want to think about it before we commit. They do have some flyers here, but with the amount of troops being stuck back here, oh god, these all wall climbers. That makes me feel kind of different about this fight. But we have a lot of pikes who are going to be attacking behind stuff, and hopefully we'll get to recruit troops before they attack. We could move Germanicus up here, although they'd probably have a straight line for us after this. And we do see revealed by our... do we have a scout? We must have a scout, because we can see... Oh, is it because we scryed? Yeah, because we scryed. We see there's some of these blood mages here, which will cause a little problem for us. I almost wonder if we should go more south and not engage in this. I'm really worried about getting picked off. Well, actually, we'll do that. We'll move south with Germanicus. I think I'm going to move to this temple city instead. Try and outmaneuver them here is hopefully the plan. Let us get more troops. In the meantime, though, it buys us time as he chases these armies around and hopefully does not catch them for us to bulk up here. With things like Principes. We'll do Principes. Why not get a little more quality? And you can really see these lines are starting to form up very nicely. We have a whole archer corps. We have a nice big line here, although we do want the Histatus moving forward in that line. Meanwhile, we can continue to raise our, I'll call them levies, or limbs, as they are, in our fortified locations. Emperor moving south, and then I think I'll hand this army over to the governor. And the Emperor can just chill here. We'll build him a little retinue to hang out with him. Maybe build a statue for safety in case anything wild happens. But for a little while, he'll sit here until we're ready to really move out. And by that, I mean move him out to do godlike things, I suppose I should say. But that will be a while. We're not at all ready for that. We have some undeads zooming around. Has the thing happened yet? No, not at all. Ah, yes, here. Now, you will see what this does. Now, this isn't so impressive. It is fun, though. A wandering spirit drawn to the presence of the rightful emperor. The spirit didn't get his chance to serve the emperor in life, and thus tries to redeem himself by serving him afterwards instead. So, we will attract, periodically, groups of Imperial spirits with our statues. They have Touch of the Dead, they have Stealth, Cold Resistance, all this nonsense that dispossessed spirits get. We can't control them because they're stupid, but they'll run around for us, so we get more free spawn. So if you thought, oh, the Imperial statue's not doing it for me, you get a little extra, a little top off there, I suppose, to maybe goad you over to thinking it's good. I'm a little mixed on it. I don't think it's the craziest thing I've ever seen. But, you know, it does some cool stuff. I'm so sad we're going to lose Scipio. If only we could save him. In the meantime, though, we have some choices to make. We could pack some gladiators in here. Will they be in front of the Triarius? The gladiator will, so we'll get the gladiator. Some status. But they are prioritizing in the back until we fill this rank out. We'd have to fill this rank, and then... Actually, they'll always sit behind the Velays. Darn it. Silly gladiators. Now that we look at it more closely... I guess I might start moving this army towards here. We'll grab them a little troop squad here as well. Don't worry about it, but... do we want to do more Triarises? I think so. Triarises are going to be very valuable versus this priesty boy. Okay. We'll run into the haunted slums. Getting ourselves a little bit of fortification. Hopefully this guy doesn't catch up to us or chase after us too hard. I have to see how he decides to be. We'll do a scry, I suppose. Continuing to reveal this location. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, we see him going up north to the ford. Maybe fighting the witch for a moment. That gives us a reprieve. We will definitely go try and take his temple city, I think, then. That's how he wants to play it. A meteor has struck in an ash field. We were just looking over there, too. How funny. And archers and pikeneers. Those pikeneers are expensive. That is not in my interest. No. None of those. This squad's a little... Not exactly what I want yet. God, it's such a mess. It's got some really good mages with it, too, we need to make use of. It's frustrating. Frustrating kind of squad. We will get some archers here, and finish off with some Histatus, trying to really fill out that line. We'll go to the Haunted Trade District, and we'll kill some skellies down here. We want to kill this Banshee. We're going to need some spellcasters to hopefully knock her out. I know she's got some dispossessed spirits with her, which you can see we are continually building up spirits in this area. Our failed legions have come back to serve us wonderfully. As is their duty to serve the Empire. Wahaha. I need more of a maniacal. I need to be wahaha or whatever, like maniacal. So this is something we are not unfamiliar with if you watch some of my other run-throughs, or at least one of them had this in it. The Hound of Hades is protecting the cave to the underworld. How fitting it is that that is here on our Dark Emperor run. We'll definitely be going down to Hades. I can't promise you the extent, depending on how well we do. But it's possible we might do the time-skipping thing I did in the Enchanter one if it goes too long. We'll have to see. But I do want to try and do some stuff with Hades. Like, I feel like it's our duty as the Dark Emperor to do so. So some slightly cheap archers. That'll use most of our gold, but I love archers. Ooh. And no, we'll go with the archers. And we'll fill out this squad with a little more archers. And we'll take this lady with us with her spells. Could take the Serpent Friend as well. And we'll grab the Histonist. We'll grab just a line of archers here. Are you blind? You lost an eye. We don't want you. Just a nice little line of them to fill ourselves out. We'll leave the crossbowmen in case any earth stuff comes through here. A little paranoid about that. Moving close here. We'll see weak enough fort here in the Temple City to take it. We'll run that down and start reclaiming our capital area for ourselves. Get a hold here and start pushing east. To take all of their things. As is our duty. As men of the Empire. Can't really afford anything else with our governor. These are all our levies. We'll move out. Same direction. Eventually we'll move north. We'll take it one at a time. So we were aware there was probably going to be some of these. A little more than I'd like to see. So we're going to take some hits here. But all of their troops are pretty bad. And our Moon Mage is already destroying the gate. Look at that. That was beautiful. What was that? 16 damage? What is that? How much damage was that? Jesus, Moonlight. 16 damage Moonlight. My God. What a stud. What an absolute stud. I love it. He just eviscerated half the gate on a really good roll. Getting some anti-magic down. Help out a little bit. We'll take more losses than way more losses than we'd like. I was honestly not expecting this many of these little blood witches. I think we'll still be okay. They have life drain and things like that. It's kind of annoying, but we might confuse them potentially. We're going to start getting in here and getting hits on them more directly. Our Moonbeam, as long as he doesn't get killed, I'm okay with this. We've confused some units to our side. If we could nab one of these ladies, that would be quality. Our moonbeams do confusion, potentially. One of them's running, that's good. That's reduced their capabilities quite a bit. Got some sleep spells attempted, didn't really work on them. Got a really good hit from someone. Who did that? 12 points of damage from who? From the Pikeneer? I think it was from a pike, yeah. Damn! They just stabbed right up the wall. I wish I had my camera right now. I would show you guys my stabbing action upwards. I think it adds a little bit. Got some good sleeps, although probably going to wake them up a little earlier than we'd like. And a fear, keeping us safe. Come on, confuse one for us. Confused? Nope. Okay. We don't get any. We get a lot of losses instead. Just expendable troops, though. So we're okay with that. Meneads trying to take on a mushroom. Can they do it? They can! I think they suicided, though. Because the poison, so... That is what it is. Out of water. That's unfortunate. Ooh, a catapult that we can afford. That is a must. And our spirits have decided to take flight. They've decided to leave and go and venture out to run around for us. Now, unfortunately, our settlements aren't spread out super well, so they can't do as much, but, you know, in certain instances, they can run around like some of your stuff up here and deal with things. They tend to not survive super long, but they do have Ethereal, so they have some defense against things. They're not great units, though, if I'm being honest. But they're fun. I think they add a lot. Especially flavor-wise. We're going to want to start getting units here. We do have an army that's going to come down this way. Have another big not big, but decent army here. We also have some dispossessed spirits walking around here. We probably want to knock those guys out. I'm almost wondering if the Priest King would win a fight against this army. This army is pretty good just because of her. She is a pretty crazy lady. She will get some things done. Alright. Let's do some scrying. We do know he's up here, so we don't have to worry about him, although I know he has other armies. As we listen to my least favorite track, a scout is available. We'll buy that down here. Grab a scout. Start rebuilding his status. Get these lines filled out. We need to fill out our back line too, don't get me wrong, but one step at a time, one step. Go jump on the Sphinx, take Germanicus down, he'll take this Oasis. That'll be his small mission. Might want to get some Ballista down here, I don't know. Although, this guy's going to come down and he'll be able to... I can't remember if you can do a Statue of the Underworld. I can't remember if this counts as a settlement. It has blood sacrifices, if that means anything. Okay, we'll leave those ghosts alone. We don't need to bother them right now. Our mission is south. Southward is where we belong. Love to point some more governors. We do have a catapult here we want to keep. We'll just get some cheap velays. If we have to, we'll go take out those ghosts with the small squad of velays. Will be what we do with those guys. We need more money, though. We need to really up our money gain. Down here's going to help. Really, this is juicy over here. Let's take a look north. We haven't taken enough looks up here. I think a lot of our scrying will now start that direction. See if it's worth it to move up there, potentially resource-wise. Although high-level witch stuff will really hurt, it looks like some of them have decided to eliminate themselves from the game. Okay, we'll take a small detour here, just to grab... There's some ghost. Just to grab this, and then we'll come back and grab this coal mine. We'll build some Principes. Some good old-fashioned frontliners. Legat, you good? Opius will continue this way. You can't recruit... No, because this isn't a hamlet. I wonder if... I almost want to test if Germanicus can put a little nature dude on the Erie farm. It'd be funny if it was like some weird decrepit kind of creature instead of like the weird little fey guys that we see up here. Which, interestingly, the witch has not been attacking. I'm a little curious why. I believe they're stealthy. They wouldn't do very well against any army. They're not really suited to fight armies, but I mean, maybe they're afraid we'll charm a witch and start our alliance with the witch and the senator. What a funny alliance that would be, or I should say the Dark Emperor in this case. Okay, we have some fights going down in swamps. You'd love to see it. Those guys are probably all diseased now. But we don't worry about our free spawn. They are free to get diseased as they wish. And even drown themselves, I guess, if that's really their purpose. Where'd our ghosties go? Our ghosties went this way. Not super useful pathing for them. Okay, let's head down south. We are going to completely retake our capital. We're going to probably plant some statues down here. I want to get those kicking around in this area. Lots of death here to have our statues sit in. Very nice. I like that idea. This army is fully prepped, in my opinion. It's ready to rumble wherever it goes. Well, except for ambushes. But luckily we have some of the tools to deal with this, hopefully. I know it's just a couple dispossessed spirits, so hopefully that doesn't go too crazy. So we got some Principes. Let's get some Viles in the back line. And we could really use some archers here. We'll grab a standard and move out. Something to lead the way. It reminded me of the, what is it, Modern Warfare 2, Rangers Lead the Way. I know that's an actual slogan, but I always... They play that so often in the startup menus of Modern Warfare 2. That I remember it. I played that game like 2 years ago, weirdly enough. Just want to get a better view on this cave. I just want to go down into Hades really badly. But I have to save a lot of money to actually do that if I don't want to fight the Hound of Hades. Because secret revealed, we can get down there as this faction. It's not cheap, though. I'm being honest. Okay. Alright. Our commanders were protected. Their bodyguards did their job. We are fighting a gelatinous cube, and it will have a nice tasty snack of our men. A little still worried about this witch and what she's got going on. I think maybe it'd be appropriate to build a ballista up here just to scare her. If she wants to attack that, she's going to incur some losses. I really don't feel like having to go back there. We're probably going to plant some of our farm stuff down here. Serpent Acolyte we'll buy here just because we want some a little more oomph. Got some venom. You know, because we don't have a lot of casters here. Poison resistance could be nice in the future if we run into some trouble. I guess we'll just do another line of Viles. And that'll fill us out. We do have a couple Viles in the front. Not ideal, but we'll live with it. And there's a lot of dispossessed spirits there. Don't really want to fight this too badly. Okay, and we can raise our little forces here. Even though these aren't recruitable locations, unfortunately, since they've been destroyed, they are fortunately able to be fortified. So we can start building statues. We'll start getting to work on that. We can build little security forces for our capital. Start to try and restore some order to our dark empire. Makes me wonder, are we evil? Are we an evil emperor, or are we simply like Scalaria, I suppose, in Dominions? If you know anything about Scalaria, it is a faction in Dominions. I don't know which iteration it came into as we see an enemy approach, but it is essentially a place where the the kind of like Empire-esque faction that is Iramor, splits off into different factions. One of them is completely undead, and the other, Scalaria, is where the humans are like controlling the undead to farm and use them as labor and fighters and things like that for your empire, which I find to be so interesting as a story. I like Scalaria quite a bit as a concept. Oh my. Well, an opportunity on the horizon. We have a big old army here, but Scalaria is really cool, backstory-wise. I wonder, are we more like that? Are we just controlling the undead to our whims when we get all these dispossessed spirits and these statues of Hades that are spawning little dispossessed spirits? Or are we something more sinister? I'm not really sure. Then again, I think Scalaria eventually turns into... what is it called? It's the next stage of it. My god, I should remember this. It's got all the shades... hell, what is that called? Hold on, I'm pausing the video to look this up. Okay, I kept wanting to think it was another version of Scalaria, and I kept having that in my head, but I know why. It's because it's called Lemuria, and those two things to me sound very similar. Scalaria, Lemuria, but it's Lemuria. It's the late age Dominions faction. That's what I was thinking of. I did not need to pause the video for that. That took like 2 seconds, but I needed to know. It was very important to me. Now, do we want to fight this turn? We could very well try. I don't know. I think we'll just go defend the capital. We actually can't erect a statue. Oh, darn it. I didn't think about that. Oh, shoot. Yeah, because they're not settlements technically anymore. Maybe these can? I don't know if these count. Specifically, the Haunted Trade District has 2 gold. I don't know how they calculate it, but instead of doing that, I guess we'll build some Lariums. Oh my god! A Lar. Look at it appear. How wonderful. He's got Command Beast, Befriend Animal. These are not the spells you want when you see a big army of undead folks coming your way, but okay. You do you, friend. You do you. You can do what you like. We'll support you, big question mark. We'll get another governor. You do want to stock up on these guys, because once you do cast that Apotheosis spell, you lose the ability to do it. Which is an unfortunate thing, but it's a reality. It's a reality of the game. Guess you can go here, and we can start building maybe a northern army? That could be an option. Or we could start getting ballistas and things. I think that might be an option. Yeah, we'll start doing that. Oh shit, we had an astrologer available. I totally blanked on that. Oh well. Didn't need it anyway. Would have actually been really useful against this. But now that we have a catapult, if we can get another one, and a whole squad of ballista, I'll feel a lot more comfortable about this. Because then we can catapult these guys, because I believe the catapult will be in range. Now, I could be wrong about that and underestimating, but I'm kind of hoping that is the case. We won't build too thick of an army either when we do it. I want that ancient forest. Sheev will stand still. We'll watch them go north. They're still out of our range. And oh god, and there's other armies here now. Well, we might be seeing some fights here finally. Some big fights. Very possible. Some archers and a centurion. Oh dear god, that is a lot of pikeneers. Well, our ballista will trash on these guys. Sheev could reach this army. Let's see what we think about this. 58 versus their 43. I don't love that, especially because they have a lot of ethereal stuff. Yeah, not a super big fan. We did see a squad go this way. I don't know where he went. Darn it. Looks like we've lost him. I do want to take this army, I think, maybe with Sheev here in attack. I think I will do both, just because his moonbeams will be so good. But that will be their turn there. They'll go do that. Meanwhile, I think these two forces, Germanicus and Eleusis, will move east and conquer this, try and put down some of our guardians on the farms and whatnot. We'll let this guy slide for the moment. Build some archers, some Histatus. Start getting an army going here. We will continue to build ballista. We do have plenty of opportunities to get catapults. Hopefully we'll end up getting more of them. Excuse me, hiccups. But we do want to find some places we can put statues where they'll actually start, you know, having useful places to summon our dispossessed spirits rather than just wandering into the ether. I should call them Imperial spirits, I suppose, is their proper name. Okay, this fight should be interesting. Our overwhelming numbers of ballistas, we have some really good spells in the back if we need to use them on the pikeneers. Might take some losses on the pikes, but we're really going to soften them up here. This is just going to crush them. So many ballistas here. And then we're going to get the javelin rounds. You can just see, oh my god, tearing into him. And the nature mage isn't that good. He's got sleep. Would have liked if it hit more of the pikeneers. I'm not super worried about the stone slingers. Believe it or not. Oh god, I need to move that thing towards the front. I have a feeling the person who's been using that keeps dying. What buffs are we getting? Anti-magic. Lux. Touch of the moon. Lots of anti-magic being cast. Not too big of a deal. Really would have liked to soften up more of these pikes. Hopefully we can get some terror casting going on soon. Where is she? Oh god, she's all the way out because she's got those shoes of the flying. God, she's way too far up. Hopefully she'll start casting her spells, though. Yep, there we go. Big old terror sends a couple of them away. Reduce our losses. Got some decays going down, not as useful. But some pikeneers in a gate. Do not underestimate those pikes in a gate. They will take out quite a bit of your troops. And we don't have anything really in this army specifically to reciprocate, besides the pikes that have ranked way in the back here in this fight. But the ballistas being shot, everything else, it'll overwhelm them before we take too many losses. I'm not too concerned about that. Well, they're holding up here quite well. Really, what would have been ideal is just terror casting right in the center here. But we finished them off with one final loss there, and that was okay. It's not really worth keeping too close track of our losses. We don't worry about that as much. We're finally getting attacked here. This is interesting. Cloud of Confusion on our friend. Didn't work. We have Charmed a Spearman. Not going to help us too much, unfortunately. See if we can get another spell off before we die. Poison resistance being cast. It'd be really funny if we could steal the witch or something. Put some of their stuff to sleep. Unfortunately, we have a mindless thing coming towards us. I think he can still be slept, can he? Do mindless slings Uh-oh. Uh-oh, little witch. Oh, goodness. Oh, nope, he got nabbed. Charm doing a lot of work here. Keeping us quite safe. Cloud of Confusion, Curse of the Frog Prince. Curse of the Frog Prince could take this guy out. Notably, though, 9 magic resistance. Super high for 25 gold. But, you know, you can't move him, so. And now he's just kind of fisting. Cloud of Confusion isn't ideal here, though, because she could charm some of her frogs onto our side, potentially. Trying to turn us into a frog does not work. As we do our little fist attack. Although eventually, you know, she does it enough, it might work. We are now just totally surrounded with, like, the worst attack in the game. We're getting poison cast at us, and we are not poison immune, so this will kill us with the Bog Beast. We got confused and killed. Killed us. Swamp Thing. Okay, this thing finally got a hit off. And it hit hard. Okay, we killed some frogs and some spearmen. Not super worth it. Almost got the witch. 2 HP, my lord. Would have been real nice to snipe her. But you can see, because of the stealth there, if the AI ever does end up running into them, it can be quite the pain. Particularly if they have a spearman with low magic resistance sitting nearby. So keep that in mind. It could work out in your favor quite easily. And finally seeing a magic library, although, geez Louise. If this isn't a very fire-heavy potential here with the Pyromancer and Gold Arcana and the White Mage. All of them have access to different amounts of fire spells. You know, I said before when I was doing recruitment, I don't think it was with this army, no, because I'm not seeing any Principes. But one of these armies, I was like, I don't know if I can do the fire guys. But now I'm like looking myself in the face and saying, okay. Looking at myself in the mirror and saying, you made a mistake, homie. You made a mistake. You probably wanted those fire guys. Although, you can't foresee something like that, to be fair to myself. But we'll raise the basic forces here and there. Some very bad rolls with our little shield guys. I don't know if I've zoomed over the... They're not anything special. They're like the lowest of the low on our totem pole. We only have 56 units with Sheev. Darn, what do we do with him? I hate to just send him this way. I think we'll continue to stick him with this guy, although that's kind of really inefficient. I don't love that. I'm debating what to do with him. We could save up for Hypothesis. That's potential. Build some Ballista. We see the switches come over here. Maybe she'll try and fight the Beholder. That would be very foolish, but hey. To each their own, although it's kind of close in range to their army. You know, Swamp Drakes could run up there and get him in range before he does too much damage. I wouldn't count on it, but it's a possibility, theoretically speaking. I think Sheev is going to move back and get more troops. I think realistically that's what we need to do with Sheev. He needs more of a backline, which we could supplement with like Ballista or something. I'd love to have a quicker army though. It's kind of my thing. More meteors and an old weapon master. Okay, we'll move him down. We'd love for him to train some of our troops. We'll see if he makes it. What's nice is, and it makes sense being the Senator or the Empire, is that you end up having a lot of free spawn that will just kind of protect you from independence. So you'll see this area is like super clean. We have sight everywhere. There's not a lot of independents roaming around. There's all of our free spawn everywhere, infesting the earth. But yeah, it creates kind of a safety area for you. I want to see with this guy if he can go cast the statue down here, which, thank goodness, we finally got more archers. We definitely need more. Hopefully we'll get a cheap crossbowman thing going on. I just remembered, we have the Ballista here. I think this is worth it to try with the Ballista, so we're going to give that a shot. If it doesn't go well, it doesn't go well, and I'll be sad, but suppose that is as it is. We could try and take on this vampire after that and get a fort here, or just go take the Dark Citadel. Germanicus will go put a little friend on this farm to increase the income from it and take it for our own. Do we want to buy more troops? And well, hell, we'll buy some Praetorians. Why not? Let's get some Praetorians up in here. They'll be slow like our Ballista, but they will be ruthless in their ability to hold up a shield and swing a broadsword, so why not? Okay. Get to see how this goes. The one thing, I think the White Mage won't get knocked, and unfortunately they do have Solar Rays and Sunlight. Soul Slay, Summon Fire, so all of them do have fire spells. Really want these Ballista killing the Pyromancer, though, with Mass Combustion. Oh my goodness, that'll hurt. And the more Ballista rounds go off, and I don't see him die, the unlucky we get, but he should die oh, we actually got the constant mirrored images. Well, that's interesting. He is revving up for Mass Combustion. He got it off. That's gonna hurt. Dear God. This is the power of this guy. He's also got Fire Cloud, which isn't a bad spell. And he's dead. So, that was painful. Now, how many ballistas do we lose is my question. Lost some archers, lost some middle guys, lost... I don't think we lost a ballista. Okay. And we got a whole bunch of stuff that we'll take a look at in a second, see what we want to do with it. Menaeds fighting in city ruins, not too interesting to us. An Animist is available. Again, not the craziest thing. Although, you know, why not? Let's grab ourselves a little Annie. Okay, and we'll head out here. He's got an astral... We could go to the astral plane, my goodness. We'll save that maybe. We'll see if we ever use that. Could also be a trap, who knows. This army looks like it got in a fight. It got in a little scrap, or I think it did split off. Oh no, they were just hidden. But I feel a little more confident with this. Our Moonbeams guy's going to do some work. We have a little more spells here. The Poison Vines won't do much, but the Vine Arrow will actually hit a little more often. Maybe not. I think that actually might just be physical. Either way, we have plenty of stuff here. We have lots of relays that'll throw spears. And hopefully our Moon Mage carries most of the work with his Moonlight or Fear. Would be the biggest hope. Germanicus can move north. Notably, we can study level 1 solar magic. I don't really need to do that, I don't think. We'll throw a Wand of Combustion or whatever on some of these other guys. Cloak of Mirrors, we'll throw that on you. Or we'll throw it on a frontliner, actually. We'll get one of these guys rocking and rolling with a bunch of magic items. Why not? Just absolutely make this the best Principe ever. He'll have Boots of Flying. He doesn't need a Gem of Concentration. He doesn't need that either. Yeah, okay. He's not the best ever, but he's got a little more than he probably should. We could go try and kill this vampire. I don't love the idea. It's a little bit difficult to fight through. Opius will go down here, see if we can do this. We cannot raise a statue of the underworld here. That's unfortunate. I was hoping this is where we could get one down here, but no, it's not the case. So there are really no settlements around the capital that we can really do that with. I couldn't remember if the Temple City counted as one, and we got our answer. It's nice to have answers, so I'm happy about it, regardless. Old Weapon Master, continuing his trek down towards some of our other units, our bigger stacks. We'll continue to build a ballista here. We want to be a little careful. We don't want to overspend our iron when we're selling it. We also want to save enough gold for our possibility of a catapult. I think we're good. I don't need to do any scrying right now. An ambush on some Menaids. They will die. And some of our free squad gets to fight. Maybe thin this out before we fight it. Strength and strength sap and decay. Nothing too crazy here. They can only get level 1 undead, so really not scary whatsoever. And I think fighting them in a fortress is actually preferable. So we will go take the initiative on that with Sheev and take him out. I want to go kill this, but I don't want to risk anything too important. It's something I say quite often, but specifically with the Banshee, I just don't feel like losing all the troops. Charm, Animate Tree. See, these are much better spells to have here. Animate Tree means you're going to animate some of these trees to fight for you. It'll protect him. He'll charm things and put things to sleep while he's doing it. That is kind of like the optimal situation you get going there. We're going to go take the Citadel. That's what we're going to do. And then we can think about fighting this big Priest King army that looks like it got in a scuff with someone, which means it is ready for us to fight it, I think, at this point. Now, what could we use? We could upgrade this army, or just hand over some of the stuff in here to Sheev. I think we hand over most of the backline to Sheev, and then send Marcus Agrippa around with some of the other stuff. I think that's our answer. Which means we'll join in this fight here with the Ballista. It might space out some important things, which might make us take more losses. I'm a little worried about that. But the Ballista fire we're going to have in the early part here is kind of crazy, so I'm okay with maybe trying that trade. Hopefully it works in our favor. We never know. I want to start moving Callahan. Don't want to be too liberal with him. We'll actually grab our little bodyguard and just run around with some Praetorians. We're going to go down to this Temple City. And we'll probably start saving some of our money. Because I think it's about time we get the next phase of this game going. Might probably be next episode before we do it, but we will do major ballista rounds on these guys, taking out many of their things, even if they have ethereal, which they're blocking some of our shots. Some are still going to get through, and they have physical units here as well that are particularly vulnerable. Oof, this white just got absolutely trashed. I was kind of hoping this guy would get hit with a ballista. He got hit, just not very hard. One more round to try and do it. Because he's going to cast Decay, which is unfortunate. Okay, it didn't happen, but that's alright. The ballista shots will continue to fire and just cause absolute chaos in their lines. Anti-magic going up. Now, usually, you know, anti-magic's okay, but now it's just great because these guys all have magic attacks, so that'll make our defense a little better against those. Now, it's not great. Six magic resistance is a little bit above average, but it'll get some things done. And now we have our javelin rounds, not doing a lot of damage. God, we need to move. If this had been up here, that would have been helpful. I say that everything, and then we don't move it. I wish we could move it mid-combat, even if it didn't change where they spawned. That would be nice. Because then I would just do that. Who is that ring on, actually? I think it's on you. Okay, just remember to move that. Get more anti-magic casts. Some reanimations going on our troops. Our troops here do reanimate into the heavier kinds of Solus. Or Solus soldiers, I should say. Okay, we almost cleaned house here. Of course, lost a little more always than I'd like, but we could use to shed a couple troops before we go and fight the Priest King. You know, nothing better to train the units like shedding a little blood. It's appropriate. What do we got here? This doesn't look too bad. We'll throw down a scribe before we actually take it. Worst comes to worst, we could throw in some wall climbers with our little centipedes with this army. That could be something we do. That might be a little beneficial, actually. Excuse me. Although they're going to get life drained. This will probably be our last turn. We will continue to move this guy down south. Let's look what this is looking like. We're going to move out here for a second and split up the forces. Raising a small levy here of our friends and family. Okay, what do we want? Yeah, this is mostly a good line. I think we have all the melee troops we want. I think we'll just take all his ballistas and a couple of his mages that we find will be helpful to us in the coming days. Yeah, okay. And he can go this way with his smaller force. And they will make for the magic library, and then eventually come up here and maybe put a statue of Hades over here or something, maybe up here. Start letting some dispossessed spirits wander here as well. Love to see it as we see them begin to wander around. So not the craziest thing yet with the Dark Emperor, but very soon you'll see what really packs a punch along the Emperor's things. I'm a little confused. I swore these ladies could get married to the Emperor. But then he would have the ability divine marriage as well, so I suppose maybe he doesn't. I think maybe he has to be the regular Emperor. I'll have to check that out later. I don't think I've ever tried divine marriage with the... Oh, some fights with the dispossessed spirits. And you can see they could take on, like, 2 brigands in a fight. Maybe. Oh, who got killed? Was it the Priest King? No. Must have been one of the witches. Yeah. Didn't mean to skip that, but it was one of the witches. Has been killed. They are cannibalizing each other. Wild. I'm pretty sure it's this one up here. Let's just make sure. Yep, she's gone. And that means we need to send a squad up there to go pillage her lands. Thought we had, yes, Legut. Take your Vilays in charge. Although we do have some Imperial spirits leading the vanguard towards them. Oh, I said we were going to end. We will end on that note. So one less witch in the game. This is looking like, I think what we're going to do is we are probably going to try and do some Hades stuff, since it looks like a lot of our competition has axed themselves. Some people may suggest using the mods that protect bases. In my experience, those do protect the bases, but unless those add a commander, then they're going to go get their commander killed. And even if they don't, frankly, a lot of the enemies will just end up sitting in their fort, sitting out little tiny squads and not making enough resources to really threaten you. I'd rather see big blobs and make sure that the blobs don't kill half their stack on a defended place, which is what we're seeing here. It's sometimes unfortunate, but I think here it provides an opportunity because we can go down to Hades. Maybe we'll try and do some weird stuff with fighting Orcus with the Senator, which I don't think anyone usually expects. So we'll see what happens. I'm not promising, but that'll be something I want to do if we can keep someone alive on like half strength, so that we can funnel resources down, not south, but underneath, I suppose, or on another plane, because I guess Hades isn't technically underneath. Underneath us is Agartha, and then the Inferno, and then the Void, technically. So. Not that matters too much. But, guys, thank you for watching. Always appreciate you being here. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that business. You know, comment your thoughts on the series. You know, all that cool business. And, yeah, stay posted. And hopefully next time we'll see the next evolution of Callahan, our Dark Emperor. Yeah, so... see y'all later.